Good afternoon. My name is Umar Hussain. My student ID is 2202168. My lord, the defense objects to the prosecution's attempt to introduce bad character evidence against Mrs. Dinery Snow. A witness for the defense under Section 100 of the Criminal Justice Act 2003. The prosecution seeks to rely on her prior conviction for professional misconduct. Specifically, the unauthorized administration of a pharmaceutical drug to a terminally ill patient outside the scope of a clinical trial. However, we submit that this evidence lacks the probative value necessary to assess her credibility and is therefore inadmissible. Lack of relevance and probative value. Under Section 100, subsection 1 of the Criminal Justice Act 2003, bad character evidence is only admissible if it provides important explanatory evidence. Subsection A has substantial probative value in assessing credibility. Subsection B or is otherwise necessary for a fair trial. Subsection C. Mrs. Snow's conviction does not satisfy any of these criteria. Her professional misconduct was not motivated by fraud, dishonesty, or financial gain. She acted out of an unethical dilemma rather than an intent to deceive. The conviction resulted in a fine of £2,500 and a temporary suspension by the General Medical Council, which later reinstated her ability to practice, given the significant time lapse and lack of relevance to this trial. Introducing this evidence would serve only to prejudice the jury unfairly. Case law supporting exclusion. Explanatory context. Section 100 subsection 1A in R versus Davis, the Court of Appeal held that bad character evidence should only be admitted where is absence would case substantial difficulty in understanding the case. Mrs. Snow's prior conviction provides no necessary background for the jury's comprehension of the present case. Her testimony can be assessed independently and its exclusion does not hinder the jury's ability to determine the facts fairly. Assessing credibility. Section 100 subsection 1B in R versus Brewster and Cromwell, the court reaffirmed that bad character evidence should be admitted only if it significantly contributes to evaluating credibility. Mrs. Snow's conviction, stemming from an ethical lapse rather than dishonesty, lacks the necessary probative value. R versus Hansen further clarifies that a single conviction, particularly one unrelated to deception, does not automatically render a witness unreliable. Mrs. Snow's case involves no history of dishonesty or repeated misconduct. Probative versus prejudice versus probative value. Section 100 subsection 3. Even where there is some relevance, R versus White emphasized the need for fairness in trials. Introducing this evidence may mislead the jury into assuming dishonesty where none exists, creating an unjust bias against Mrs. Snow. The court duty is to prevent undue prejudice, particularly when the risk of misinterpretation outweighs any minimal relevance. Risk of unfair prejudice and human rights consideration. Jurors, as non-legal experts, may struggle to distinguish professional misconduct from dishonesty. In R versus Campbell, the court recognized that juries may unfairly equate ethical breaches with untrustworthiness, leading to improper assumptions about credibility. Admitting this evidence risk training the jury's perception of Mrs. Snow before they assesses her actual testimony. Additionally, Article 6 of the European Convention on Human Rights guarantees the right to a fair trial. Permitting the evidence would undermine the presumption of innocence by allowing unrelated past conduct to unfairly influence the jury's view of the witness, equality of arms, as it would place undue emphasis on a matter that lacks direct relevance to the case at hand, compliance with criminal procedure rules. This objection is timely and has been filed within the prescribed 14-day period under the criminal procedure rules. However, should an extension be necessary, we submit that it should be granted due to the complexity of the legal issues involved. R versus Gisel affirms that courts may extend deadlines where necessary to ensure justice. The defense required additional time to assess the legal implications, consult experts, and prepare a thorough argument. Granting an extension would not unduly delay proceedings but would instead uphold the fairness of the trial. Conclusion: for these reasons, we respectfully urge the court to exclude the prosecution's attempt to adduce bad character evidence against Mrs. Snow. The evidence is irrelevant, lacks probative value, and carries a significant risk of unfair prejudice. Admitting it would serve no purpose other than to mislead the jury and undermine the fairness of the trial. Unless I can assist the court further, those are my submissions. Sir, do you have any question?
Why does Mrs. Snow's prior conviction lack probative value?
Because it stemmed from an ethical lapse, not dishonesty or fraud. Meaning it does not indicates that she is likely to be untruthful in court.
How does R versus Henson support the exclusion of this evidence?
It confirms that convictions lacking dishonesty have limited probative value. When assessing witness credibility,
what risk does admitting this evidence pose?
Sir, it may mislead the jury, causing them to wrongly assume dishonesty as recognized in R versus Campbell.
Does Mr. Snow's prior conviction meet the test in R versus Brewster?
Sir, no, because it does not meaningfully contribute to evaluating her credibility.
Under what provision can the court exclude this evidence even if it has some relevance?
Can you, sir, please repeat the question?
Under what provision can the court exclude this evidence even if it has some relevance?
Section 100 subsection 3 of the Criminal Justice Act 2003, which allows exclusion when prejudice outweighs probative value.
Why should an extension of time be granted if necessary?
Because of the complexity of the case, the need to consult legal experts, and to ensure fairness as upheld in R versus Gisel.